aspiring authors. I have published 2 books, and the book industry's archaic practices have not changed in 75 years. Believe it or not, it can take 12 to 18 months before your finished manuscript goes to print. That is why I am so excited to tell you about Spines. Founded by writers and visionaries, Spines is shaking up the publishing landscape with cutting-edge technology and a commitment to quality. They will guide you from draft to global distribution hassle-free with AI-powered efficiency. They will turn your manuscript into a finished, published book within 30 days. They handle everything: editing, marketing, cover design, so you can focus on creativity. Plans start at just $125 a month, with authors earning 100% of the royalties, which no one else gives you. This streamlined publishing experience is seriously changing the game. Plus, you won't be in the dark about how your book is doing. Spines gives you the tools to track royalties, performance, and impact, because transparency is a promise. Whether you're into ebooks, audiobooks, or print on demand, Spines has got you covered. And with their global network, your story will reach readers worldwide fast. Start for free and claim your offer. If you got a story to tell, Spines is here to make sure it gets heard loud and clear. Take the first step towards being a published author today. All right, guys, you remember Eric the lawyer? Remember when I had to give Eric the business over the class action lawsuit? Does any of that ring a bell? All right, well, turned out Eric and I, when we moved beyond that topic, get along pretty well. So Eric has now posted something on Twitter. I follow his social media, and every now and again, I mean, for the most part, he abuses social media, but every now and again, he'll get one, and it's worth my time. Now, I don't know how to interpret this. If you guys do, please explain. Here's the shot. Jon Jones is standing in front of a pool. Jon Jones is showing an iPhone. Have you guys seen this? He's showing an iPhone, and he's doing like a little bit of a dance, which, by the way, for some reason, I like when Jon Jones dances. He's not the world's best dancer, but there is something about it whenever I see him dance that I always continue to watch. A side note, let's go back. Pool's right behind him, okay? Showing off an iPhone. Now, at some point, without saying anything, right, he's doing the dance, and all of a sudden, he pitches the iPhone behind him, thus putting it into the swimming pool. Nothing is said. This must be an advertisement for something. There must be more to the video, but Eric the lawyer just took a clip, I think. Oh, and by the way, Jon is filming this whole thing, which would lead you to believe he has another cell phone. So it's essentially, hey, I'm throwing this phone away, but I've got this other cell phone. So it's like an anti-Apple ad. Like, hey, I don't like, hey, screw Apple, and he throws it in the phone, but he's holding a different Apple. Or it's quite the opposite, and it's an ad for Apple, which is, I have upgraded, I don't need this phone. I could be way off, by the way. It's all I know. If you guys know what's going on here, could somebody please tell me? Because big name brands such as Apple haven't come in the space, and a lot of big name brands have been afraid with Jon Jones. It might not be an advertisement at all. I'm just wondering what's going on, and it gets me going down a Jon Jones rabbit hole. I have never enjoyed Jon more than I am right now. Are you ready for that? I haven't seen anything out of Jon Jones that hasn't been interesting since he dropped the 205-pound belt. I enjoyed his Instagrams. I enjoyed watching him lift these crazy amounts of weights. I wish he would have done more and showed us the nutrition. Volkanovski did that. When Volkanovski had to get up to 55 to challenge Islam the first time, Volk hired nutritionalists, but it was the opposite way. It wasn't, help me lose weight. It was help me put on good, lean mass. But Volk was telling him, man, oh God. Guys, gaining weight is so incredibly difficult and so incredibly unpleasant. I was trying to do this my senior year of high school. I weighed 174 pounds, and I was wrestling at a weight class of 185 pounds. Gosh, it might have been 189. At any rate, I'm trying to gain weight. I had something called Ensure. Ensure is like a meal replacement. I think it's got some vitamins and nutrients and stuff like this, but it still had a lot of calories in a little can. I would have those in my lockers at school in between each class. Oh my God, I was drinking these things all day. I'd get up in the morning, and my mother would make me chicken fried steaks and we put gravy on it. It was impossible for me to gain weight. I had a weightlifting class. Got an actual credit for it at my high school. How awesome's that? Then I would have high school wrestling practice. I would drive straight from there to club wrestling practice. So I'm working out 3 times a day. I couldn't gain any weight, but I will tell you, I was uncomfortable nonstop. So I just wish, I really liked it when Volk did it. I found it very compelling. I wish Jon would have done more of it. Okay, great. He chooses the weightlifting part. All of this is very interesting to me. He comes back out of nowhere after having a little bit of a back and forth with Francis. It was pretty clear that Francis fight was not going to happen. Francis was letting anyone that would listen know, I got a contract problem here. He was also letting anybody know, hey, before we even deal with my contract, I'm hurt. And he had that knee redone. So when it became Jon versus Surreal, we got a little bit of excitement from the matchup coming out of nowhere, not to mention it was a false release. T-Mobile's marketing team screwed up and posted this before the UFC's marketing team had announced it. I'm just sharing with you, that was all fun. I liked it all. And now, Jon, who has given the audience what they said they wanted, a fight with him and Stipe. He waited. He was patient. He's giving you what you told him you wanted, but you have changed your mind. Which is a very dirty and nasty thing to do to Jon, by the way. It really is. I mean, here's a guy that genuinely was willing to take huge risks just to get a little pat on the back from the audience. Just to get a pass and a pat on the back and go, you know what, you're really good at this. And they're already taking that away through blasphemy and putting Stipe down and saying that he's too old and he's past his prime. But when this fight first got discussed, that was exactly the guy. And Jon was very careful before he agreed to it, to come to you and make sure that you said, yes, that's the guy. So then you have an injury which delays it. Somewhere within that injury, we see the rise of Sergey Pavlich, which people are acting like they never even said. Like that's a distant memory, but it was said. And then it went to Aspinall, and it brought in a little bit of Piera, and it appears to be back on Aspinall, and Jon Jones is focusing on Stipe and saying, to heck with all of you. Which, you know what? He had damn sure better do, because if he takes his eye off this Stipe ball, it's not going to go well. Okay. Now, Daniel Cormier, right? All the while, and all of this is because Jon throws an iPhone in a pool, and the lawyer Eric posts it and sends me down this rabbit hole. All right. Daniel Cormier came out, he complimented Tom Aspinall. He said, hey, you know what? Tom has done a great job of keeping himself in the media, of keeping people interested in him. Now, the next thing to do for Tom, according to Tom, will be to fight for the undisputed title. And he doesn't really care come hook or crook how he gets there. I mean, by example, if you think, okay, then that's the winner of Jon and Stipe, it's like, well, no, not necessarily. Aspinall actually hasn't said that. He's just saying, I'm not fighting. You want to make my belt? I'm the active champion. I'm the current champion. I'm the highest champion that is currently licensed. And you're telling me I'm not the undisputed champion. You want to elevate my belt? Bring in anybody you want. Jon Jones, Stipe, they want to both go and retire. The belt becomes vacated. I slide into that spot against an opponent that you will pick. Fine with me. Jon Jones beats Stipe, retains the title. I draw into Jon Jones. Now we've got the undisputed. Perfect scenario. Tom is very open to this concept, right? As long as it involves an undisputed belt. All right. Jon telling people not going to happen. Trolling him, pushing him away. But it's those very people that told him, we will give you credit, we will give you praise if you fight and can beat Stipe. So they took the carpet out, and Jon is doing it back. Now, the most accurate thing here is what Dana White said, which is I could not imagine Jon not fighting Tom. But before we get to that, you must understand, the moment the bell rings at Madison Square Garden, the instant the bell rings for round 1 of Jones-Stipe, Tom is no longer the interim champion. So it is of paramount importance that Tom be out there and be building this fight with Jon Jones. In case you're wondering why Daniel could make that observation, in case you're wondering why Tom is out there, he's staying busy, he's still keeping attention on this, just in case you're wondering, like he doesn't get that match by default. As clear as you guys believe that it should be for the interim champion to fight the undisputed champion, I don't disagree with you. I'm telling you, that's not what we're doing, though. You can keep talking about that all you want. It's not what we're doing. In fact, we just gave our interim champion something else to do called Curtis Blades, and we have a different thing for our undisputed champion called Stipe Miocic. Oh, by the way, when you think that gets settled, so now you have the interim champion versus the undisputed champion, you don't have an interim champion. That's what I'm attempting to explain to you. If you think Tom is the big shiny prize because he's got the interim belt and he's the active champion, he's the real champion, I don't disagree with that. But the moment the bell rings, you lose that argument. So you damn sure had better have another reason for Tom versus Jon. And it's a technicality, but it's a really big deal. And it keeps on getting missed.